Everything turned into a total mess when my car slid off the highway, the metal twisting with a sickening crunch and the windows exploding into shards. My chest felt like somebody had taken a baseball bat to my ribs, bruising them up bad. My head was all fuzzy, spinning like crazy, and the only sound cutting through was the shriek of sirens in the distance. Every inch of me ached like hell, but I was still kicking, just barely hanging on. When I finally came to in the hospital, the lights blinded me, and that sharp, clean smell hit me so hard I nearly puked. First thing I did was fumble for my phone, instincts kicking in. I figured my wife, Clara, would have blown up my inbox with panicked texts, worried sick about me. But nope, there was just one lonely voicemail sitting there, waiting. I hit play, expecting the worst. Instead, her voice came through all chipper and teasing, practically bubbling over with glee. "Hey, babe, so check this out, me and the girls are jetting off to Rome for a little adventure. You know, just living it up. Don't bother calling, alright? We're not in the mood for interruptions. Hope you heal up quick. Catch you later." I blinked hard, thinking maybe the pain meds were screwing with my brain. Clara, the woman I'd poured my whole life into, was skipping the country while I was stuck in a hospital bed, hooked up to tubes and barely able to shift without wincing. This red-hot anger started bubbling up inside me, fiercer than anything I'd ever felt. I'd just been in a damn wreck, could have died, and her big move was to grab her suitcase and party it up in Italy. My jaw locked so tight I thought my teeth might crack. I wanted to dial her up right then, yell until my lungs gave out, demand what in God's name she was thinking, but her words echoed back, "Don't call." "Alright, Clara, you don't want to call. I'll play along." I stretched for my laptop, every move shooting pain through me, and pulled up our joint bank accounts. If she was so keen on ditching me for her little getaway, she could damn well do it without my money footing the bill. I started clicking away, blocked her debit cards, froze every credit line, locked her out of the savings we'd built together. In just a few minutes, her and her fancy vacation crew were flat broke overseas. Now it was a waiting game. My phone didn't make a peep for hours. Then, like clockwork, it lit up, Clara's name on the screen. I let it buzz once, twice, 3 times, 4. By the 5th call, I gave in and picked up. The second I did, her voice blasted through, sharp as a knife. "Caleb, what's your damn problem?" I eased back into the stiff hospital pillow, feeling the stitches tug at my side. "My problem? That's rich. I was about to ask you the same damn thing. Why'd you cut off my cards? I'm in Rome, trying to check into a hotel, and every single one got rejected, mine and the girls too. What did you do, Caleb?" I could picture her face in my head, all twisted up, eyes flashing like she owned the world. "I did what you told me to," I shot back, keeping my tone icy. "Didn't want to bug you." There was a beat of quiet, then her voice softened into that sugary act she pulls when she's after something. "Baby, come on, that voicemail was just me messing around. You know I care about you. I just needed this trip to unwind a bit, clear my head. It's been rough lately, and cut it, Clara," I interrupted, not in the mood for her games. Her sweetness vanished, and she snapped, "You've got no right to pull this. You're punishing me over some dumb mix-up." I let out a slow breath, fighting to keep my cool. "A mix-up? You ditched me in a hospital after I smashed up my car, told me to leave you alone, and ran off to party in Italy. What part of that did I get wrong?" Dead air hung between us. Then I caught it, a guy's voice in the background, low and muffled. My blood froze solid in my veins. I didn't say a word, just listened hard. "Who's that?" I finally asked, calm as I could manage. Clara stumbled for a split second. "Oh, just a tour guide. He's giving us some pointers on the city." "Sure, a tour guide," I said, sarcasm dripping. Because those guys always chill in hotel rooms while wives chew out their husbands over the phone. I didn't even need to dig deeper, the truth was smacking me upside the head already. A bitter chuckle slipped out of me. You really think I'm that dumb? More silence, then she hissed, Caleb, unlock my cards, now. I ended the call, simple as that. The phone lit up again right away, buzzing like a pissed-off hornet, but I ignored it. I just stared up at the ceiling, fists balled up tight. She wasn't just a lousy wife, she was a cheating, two-faced, selfish jerk. And now she was stuck out there, broke and scrambling. Perfect. The phone wouldn't quit blowing up. Every couple of minutes, Clara's name popped up on the screen, buzzing like an annoying fly I couldn't swat away. Then the texts started rolling in, one after another, her words flipping from pissed-off rants to crocodile tears to straight-up pleading. Caleb, come on, let's hash this out. This isn't a joke. We're screwed over here. You're acting nuts, you've gotta undo this. Babe, I messed up, alright? Just unlock the cards, and we'll fix everything when I'm back. I skimmed through them, shaking my head at how pitiful it all sounded. Then she called again. This time, I answered. Caleb, seriously, this is immature as hell, she snapped. Who's the dude? I cut in, not letting her finish. Nothing but quiet on her end. I caught some rustling, then her voice dropped low, all hushed like. What are you even talking about? The guy I heard back there. The one you tried passing off as a tour guide. A beat passed, then she let out this fake, jittery laugh. Oh my God, are you actually jealous right now? Don't be absurd, Caleb. Tell me his name, I pressed. More dead air. My jaw clamped shut. Yeah, that's what I figured. She huffed, loud and dramatic. Even if there was a guy, which there's not, it's irrelevant, because you've gone and left your wife high and dry in another country like some unhinged lunatic. You walked out on me first, Clara, I fired back. I was sprawled out in a hospital bed, busted up and bleeding, hardly able to twitch, and you were sipping champagne on a plane to Italy. I needed a break, she yelled. You're always smothering me, Caleb. I just wanted some air, to hook up with some random. I cut in. She gasped, all offended. How dare you say that? I let out a bitter, empty chuckle. How dare I? Clara, you ditched me solo in a hospital after I almost died. You told me to keep my distance while you gallivanted off with your fling, and now you're playing the wounded card. Caleb, you're blowing this way out of proportion, she said, voice tight. Nah, I'm just finally waking up to the truth. Her tone sharpened like a blade. Fine, you want to be a jerk. Go right ahead. But when I get back, we're having a real sit-down about this. I barked out another dry laugh. Back? You think there's still a home waiting for you? Quiet again. Then her voice shook a little. You don't mean that. I let out a long breath. Try me. I hung up. For the first time in forever, I felt something besides rage or hurt, just this weird calm washing over me, like a weight lifting off my chest. Next morning, my phone was drowning in missed calls, not just Clara, but her whole posse too. I didn't bother with any of them. I could picture it clear as day, for broke, freaking out chicks stuck in some fancy hotel lobby, figuring out they couldn't even scrape together cab fare to the airport. Part of me wanted to feel bad, honest, but then that voicemail replayed in my head, her giddy little giggle while I was laid up, half dead. She switched gears after that. Caleb, I'm sorry, okay? I was being a selfish ass. Can we talk this out? Please, let me come home. We can patch things up. It was a dumb slip-up. 5 years of marriage, doesn't that count for something? Then came the one I'd been expecting, Caleb, I swear, if you don't fix this, you're gonna wish you had. There she was, the real Clara, arrogant, scheming, a liar down to her bones. I cracked a little grin. A few hours later, the doorbell jolted me out. I frowned, confused. No one ever showed up out of the blue like that. When I swung the door open, my gut dropped. It was Maya, Clara's best buddy. Unlike my wife, Maya had brains, sharp ones. She'd always been the one feeding Clara ideas, covering her tracks. If Clara was stepping out on me, Maya had the scoop way before I did. She barged right past me into the house, not even waiting for a "come in." "You're seriously doing this?" she said, arms crossed tight. I shut the door, letting out a tired sigh. "Doing what?" She rolled her eyes like I was the idiot here. "Stranding your wife in Italy over some petty argument." I locked eyes with her. "That's what she's calling it. An argument?" She shrugged, casual as hell. "Maybe she skipped a few parts, but come on, Caleb, she loves you. She just screwed up." I snorted. Screwing up is missing a date night. Screwing up is blowing too much cash on shoes. What Clara pulled. That wasn't a screw-up, it was a decision. She decided to leave me bleeding in a hospital. She decided to jet off on that trip. And she decided to cheat. Her mouth opened a little, like she might argue. "You don't know that for sure," she said. I yanked out my phone, pulled up the texts, and hit play on Clara's voicemail. Maya's face went stiff, but she didn't say a word. Then I played last night's call, the stumble, the shaky laugh, that dude's voice in the background. Maya shut her eyes, like she could block it out. I warned her she was playing with fire, she mumbled under her breath. I leaned closer. "So you knew?" She paused, caught. "Not the whole story, but, yeah, enough." I let out a sharp, icy laugh. "Figures." Maya let out a heavy sigh, massaging her forehead like she had a headache coming on. "All right, Caleb, I get why you're mad, you've got every reason to be ticked off. But locking her out of the bank accounts? You really wanna embarrass her like that in front of everyone?" I gave her a flat, no-nonsense look. "You bet I do." She blinked, caught off guard. "Wow, harsh." I stepped back and pulled the door open wider. "If you're here to talk me into taking her back, save your energy, it ain't happening." She stared at me for a second, then let out another sigh. "She's gonna flip her lid when she gets back." I smirked, feeling a little smug. "She's got no back to come to." Maya's eyes got a touch bigger. "What did you pull?" I just grinned, keeping it mysterious. "See ya, Maya." She walked out without another peep. The second the door clicked shut, I fired up my laptop and checked my email. The divorce papers were all set to go. By the time Clara's plane touched down, she wouldn't just be penniless, she'd be hit with the legal knockout punch. 2 days later, Clara scraped together a flight home. I knew it because the moment she landed, my phone started going nuts with missed calls and texts. "I'm here, let me in, Caleb. Don't pull this crap. We've gotta talk. You're being so damn extra right now. If you think I'm just gonna take this lying down, you're dead wrong." I kicked back in my chair, sipping my coffee slow, watching the messages stack up like junk mail. I could see her in my head, stomping through the airport, lugging her suitcase, face all scrunched up with rage. Then, right on schedule, she showed up. The front door shook with her pounding, loud and furious. "Caleb, open this damn door right now." I took my sweet time finishing my sip before strolling over. When I finally yanked it open, there she was, mascara streaked, hair a tangled wreck, some cheap airport hoodie thrown over the fancy dress she probably snagged before her cards crapped out. Her eyes shot past me, scanning the house. "Let me inside." I leaned against the frame, casual as hell. "Why should I?" Her lips twisted into a nasty sneer. "Because this is my damn house, that's why." I let out a quick, sharp laugh. Not anymore, it ain't. She went still, like she'd been hit with a stun gun. What's that supposed to mean? I reached back and grabbed the envelope I'd stashed by the door. This came yesterday. I chucked it down at her feet. She glared at it for a heartbeat before snatching it up. When she saw the big, bold divorce petition stamped across the top, the color drained from her face. Her eyes snapped up to mine, blazing with shock. You're filing for divorce? Clara, you ditched me in a hospital to go mess around in Rome, what did you expect me to do? She scoffed, shaking her head like I was the crazy one. So you're just gonna toss 5 years of marriage out the window over one dumb slip-up? There's that word again, I said, grinning with a bitter edge. Slip-up. She folded her arms tight. Yeah, a slip-up, one you're making into a way bigger deal than it needs to be. I stepped in closer, keeping my voice steady as a rock. Was it a slip-up when you left me laid up in that hospital? She rolled her eyes, annoyed. Caleb, was it a slip-up when you giggled like a schoolgirl in that voicemail? She shifted, looking uneasy now. I didn't mean it that way. I cocked my head. Was it a slip-up when you had some other guy in your hotel room? Her mouth clamped shut, no comeback ready. That was the moment, she knew she couldn't sweet-talk her way out anymore. I gave her a slow, satisfied smile. Yeah, figured as much. Her jaw locked tight, then her face turned cold, and the real Clara, the one without the phony charm or crocodile tears, burst out. You're such a spiteful little punk, she hissed. You think you're hurting me? You think I can't survive without you? I'll walk away from this and be just fine. I nodded, calm as ever. Then get stepping. She opened her mouth to snap back, but nothing came out, she could tell I wasn't groveling or running after her. I was finished. Her face twisted up with fury. She grabbed the divorce papers and tore them clean in half, flinging the pieces to the ground. Screw your stupid papers, I don't need your approval to move on. I grinned wider. Then bounce. She stood there, breathing hard, fists balled up, waiting for me to crack. But I didn't budge. With a pissed-off growl, she spun around and stormed off. I shut the door and let out a long breath. It was done. I'd come out on top. The quiet that hit after she left was louder than anything I'd heard in weeks, no yelling, no mind games, no tiptoeing around her next lie. I stood there, staring at the door, half thinking she'd come charging back, hammering away, trying one last Hail Mary to save her ass. But nope, nothing. I turned, shuffled to the kitchen, and poured myself a fresh cup of coffee. This was it, freedom, pure and simple. An hour later, my phone buzzed, not Clara this time, but her mom. I sighed and picked up. Caleb, what in the hell did you do? Her high-pitched voice screeched through the line. Clara just called me, bawling her eyes out, saying you kicked her out of her own house. I took a slow sip of coffee. Her house. I paid for this place, she never chipped in a dime. She's your wife, her mom shot back. Not much longer, I said coolly. She let out a long, over-the-top sigh. Caleb, don't be so hasty, marriages have rough patches. You can't ditch her over one little mess-up. That word again, I grumbled under my breath. Her tone got stern. You're being heartless. Nah, I said, steady as ever, heartless is abandoning your banged-up husband in a hospital to go party in Rome with your side guy. Heartless is laughing while he's hurting. Dead silence, then she cleared her throat. You've gotta see, Clara just needed some room, she was stressed out. I laughed, sharp and loud. Oh yeah, so stressed she had to climb under somebody else. Her mom gasped, all scandalized. Caleb, watch your tongue. I eased back in my chair, feeling the weight of the moment. Don't hit my line again, your girl made her bed, now she can sleep in it. Then I ended the call. I blocked Clara's number first, then her mom's, then every one of her buddies, snip, 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 cutting them all out of my life like weeds. No more Clara, no more cleaning up her messes, just sweet, quiet calm. That night, I crashed hard and slept deeper than I had in ages. The next few days felt strange, almost too still, no phone blowing up, no texts pinging, no doors banging, no half-assed apologies to dodge. It was weird as hell. 5 years of marriage evaporated in a flash, and you know what? I didn't miss her one bit. What I did miss was the life I'd fooled myself into believing we had, the trust, the love, the teamwork. Stepping back now, with my eyes wide open, it hit me, Clara had checked out way before that Rome stunt. Those late nights, the work trips out of nowhere, her phone always clutched tight, screen tilted just out of my view, the red flags were waving, but I'd been too stubborn or too dumb to clock them. Now, though, the mask was off, no more playing pretend, no more bullshit, just the raw, ugly truth staring me down. 4 days later, my lawyer shot me an email, Clara wouldn't put her name on the divorce papers. Didn't shock me one bit, she didn't actually want me back, she just hated losing the game. I grabbed my phone and dialed him up right away. Then we'll take it to court, I told him. He let out a tired breath. You sure about this? It could turn into a real circus. I grinned, feeling cocky. Let her make a mess, I'll be the one with the broom. By the end of the week, Clara finally caved. She rolled up to my office looking beat down, not the smug, high and mighty chick who'd stormed out of my house, but more like someone who'd hit the end of the road. I didn't bother getting up when she walked in, just leaned back in my chair, arms folded, sizing her up. She plopped down across from me, hands clasped in her lap like she was about to pitch me a deal. Caleb, can we handle this like grown-ups? I nearly busted out laughing. Now you want to play mature? She brushed it off. Divorce is a money pit, lawyers will bleed us dry. It's not worth the hassle. Us? I arched a brow. You didn't put a penny into anything we had. Her jaw locked up tight. Okay, fine, not for me, then. Do it for you. You don't want to drag this out in a slugfest, right? I'm good with a brawl, I said, shrugging it off. She let out a quick, sharp huff, forcing a weak chuckle. All right, how about we just sit down and figure this out? No suits, no courtroom, just you and me hashing it out. I leaned in a little. You want to sort something out? She nodded fast, hopeful. I smirked. Put your signature on those papers. Her face crumpled. You really despise me that much? I didn't even blink. Nah, I just don't give a damn about you anymore. For the first time, I saw real fear flicker in her eyes, not scared of me or the divorce, but of fading into nothing, of losing the grip she'd always had on me. She shot up out of the chair. You're gonna wish you didn't do this, Caleb. I grinned, unfazed. I'll take my chances. She stormed out, but I knew she was toast. She could kick and scream all she wanted, but sooner or later, she'd fold, people like Clara always do. A week went by, then 2. The quiet stretched out, thick and heavy. Clara went ghost, probably sulking somewhere, plotting her next move. I knew it wouldn't stay calm forever. Sure enough, on a random Wednesday afternoon, my lawyer pinged me, she'd signed the papers. Just like that, it was done, no big courtroom showdown, no last-ditch begging, just her name scrawled on a PDF, closing the book on 5 years of my life. I stared at the screen for a good minute. I figured I'd feel something, relief, a win, maybe a pang of regret, but nope, just a big fat nothing. I snapped my laptop shut, kicked back in my chair, and let out a long breath. That night, I hit a bar for a drink, first time in years flying solo. No fake chit-chat, no pretending to care, just me, a whiskey on the rocks, and a room full of strangers. Halfway through my glass, my phone buzzed, some unknown number. I knew it was her before I even picked up. Caleb, Clara's voice came through, all soft and shaky. Hey. I took a slow sip, savoring it. What's up? She paused, fumbling. I wanted to say sorry. I didn't bite. For real, she pressed on. I screwed up bad. Got swept up in the trips, the attention, lost track of what actually mattered. I cracked a little grin, letting it hang there. Oh, so now that the cash dried up, everything's crystal clear, huh? God damn it, Caleb, I'm not after your money, she snapped back. Then what's this about? A long pause stretched out, then her voice dropped, soft and fragile, not the Clara I knew at all. I miss you, she murmured. I nearly choked on a laugh. Miss me? She didn't even like me, she liked the cushy life I gave her, the safety net, the fancy perks, but me as a person? She hadn't cared about that in forever. I gave my whiskey a swirl, listening to the ice tap the glass, then, cool as a breeze, I said, Clara, I don't miss you one bit. Not the old you, not what we used to be, none of it. You trashed it all, and now you're stuck dealing with the wreckage. She sucked in a quick, shaky breath. Caleb, come on, I cut the call, blocked that number too, knocked back the rest of my drink, and for the first time in ages, I felt light, like I'd finally shaken off a heavy coat I didn't even know I was wearing. Months rolled by after that. Life kept trucking along, and so did I, Clara. She kept trying to worm her way back in, random emails popping up, texts from fresh numbers, even a lame, oops, didn't see you there, run in at a coffee joint, but I was over it, done for good. Last I caught wind, she was bouncing from couch to couch at her friends' places, scrambling to hold on to that high-roller image she used to flash around. The Rome dude? History. Guess those hot vacation hookups don't stick when the real world kicks in. Funny how that works, kinda like karma doing its thing. One night, I was strolling home from work and passed by this little restaurant we used to hit up. Way back when, we'd sit there, cracking up, tossing around big plans for what was ahead. I stopped for a second, peering through the window, but instead of some ache hitting me, I just felt nothing. And right then, I knew I'd come out on top, not in some spiteful, gotcha, way, not because I'd cut her off or left her high and dry. I'd won because I'd finally slipped out of her grip. She didn't have a single hook left in me. I tugged my jacket a little snugger, turned away from those old ghosts, and kept on walking. For the first time in years, I was living my life, just for me, no strings, no baggage, just wide open road.